Chapter 4. The Kinship Organization of the Central Zone. The Central Zone comprises the following linguistic regions. Number 1, Rajputana, where Rajasthani is spoken. Number 2, Vindhya Pradesh, where Hindi is spoken. Number 3, Kathiawad and Gujarat, where Kathiawadi and Gujarati are spoken. Number 4, Maharashtra, where Marathi is spoken. Number 5, Orissa, where Uriya is spoken. Map of the linguistic regions. Rajasthani, Hindi, Kathiawadi, Gujarati, Marathi, and Uriya are all languages of Sanskritic origin, and so, from the point of view of the languages spoken in this zone, has affinity to the northern zone. But within this zone, there are large pockets of people speaking languages of the Dravidian family, and also some areas where Austro-Asiatic languages are spoken. Every one of the above regions contains primitive tribes at all stages of assimilation to the predominant agricultural economy of the zone. There are some tribes like the Kurkus in north central Maharashtra who are still in the stage of the food gatherers and dependent hunters, while there are others like Beals who are indifferent agriculturists and Kolams and Varlis who are skilled rice growers. The map above gives the names and locations of the various primitive tribes. How much of the present population of this zone is made up of these tribes, we need not discuss in the present context, but there is no doubt that that element must have been of great influence towards shaping the kinship pattern of the various regions of this zone. The central zone lies between the northern and the southern zones and includes some regions of the eastern zones. It is influenced by all these, but the influences of the three zones on it are not uniform. This lack of uniformity is due to the history of the various regions within the zone as also to the topography of the zone. The northern zone is an alluvium formed by the rivers flowing from the Himalayas into the Bay of Bengal. The massive barrier of the Himalayas shuts it off in the north, and from west to east it is a uniform plain without any hills. The only natural barriers are the tributaries of the river Ganga. The central zone, on the other hand, is traversed by different mountain systems from north to south, the Aravalli and the Sahyadri, and from west to east, the Vindhya and the Satpura, which have cut it up into separate areas where intercommunication is possible only along certain routes. The existence of forests and mountains has affected the migrations of people from north to south and has also affected the settlements of the agricultural castes, which are the backbone of the northern, central, and southern zones. The semi desert tract of western Rajputana adds to the geographical complexity of this zone. It is not possible, therefore, to describe the regions in this zone collectively as was done for the North, and so, after describing some of the features of the kinship organization found in this zone, a more detailed account is given for two of its regions. As regards kinship organization, every region enumerated above, besides following the northern practices described in the previous chapter, also has certain castes which show a new type of mating, that is, the marriage of a man to his mother's brother's daughter, which is the same as the marriage of a girl to her father's sister's son. In some regions, this marriage is practiced by only a few castes, while in one region at least it is preferred by the majority of castes. The second feature in the kinship organization of this zone is that many of the castes are divided into exogamous clans. The third is that among some castes, the exogamous clans are arranged in a hypergamous hierarchy. That is, a girl in a lower clan can marry a man of a higher clan, but a girl in a higher clan may not marry a man in a lower clan. Of these three features, we have seen the existence of hypergamy in some of the castes in the northern zone, but there is reason to believe that the northern hypergamy is an imitation of the system followed by the Rajputs, who spread all over northern India as conquerors from the 6th century of the Christian era. None of the features enumerated above are found all over the zone, nor all over a single region within the zone. There is, however, one region, that is Maharashtra, which has the three features more widely spread than all the other regions. The kinship terminology of Maharashtra, though mainly Sanskritic in origin, uses concepts which are not found among other regions where Sanskritic languages are spoken and which can be understood only by a reference to the kinship organization and kinship terms used in the southern zone. Because of the wide variation of behavior in the regions, they are treated separately in this chapter. Vindhya Pradesh is a southward thrust of the Hindi speaking population of the Uttar Pradesh. It follows the kinship pattern of the north and is therefore not described here. Number 1. Rajputana. Rajputana is divided into an eastern and a western portion divided by the Aravalli ranges. Western Rajputana is a semi desert country where the peasant population is always on the brink of famine and where scarcity of water is perennial. Eastern Rajputana also suffers from water scarcity, but the hills preserve it from the sands blowing across the western desert. There are a few places which are still forested and a few fertile belts where corn grows. In some favorable spots are beautiful man-made lakes which support a considerable population. East or west, it is a very picturesque land showing some of the most ancient and weathered surfaces on the earth. It is a tract without much rain or forest, except where it meets the central Indian forests of the Indian ranges. The population, whether fighters, merchants, or agriculturists, is ever on the move and has gone to the farthest corners of India to make its fortunes. Most of the ruling houses in India claim Rajput blood, and there is hardly a province where the Marwari trader does not have his shop, and every year hundreds of agriculturists wander out of their waterless tract to seek work southwards into Gujarat or northwards into the Punjab and UP. The major communities in Rajputana are the Rajput, the Jat, and the Marwari Baniya. The Jat are an agricultural caste of South Punjab and Delhi and northern Rajputana. They practice village exogamy and do not allow marriages of cousins. The various Baniya or Vaishya castes generally follow the northern practices and the rule of four Gotras and four Jatis. These have already been illustrated while dealing with the North and need not detain us here. The Rajputs are the fighters and the ruling caste in Rajputana. They are organized into an elaborate system of hypergamous clans, super clans called Bansa from Sanskrit Vamsha, and Gotras. The rough scheme of this structure is as follows. There are three main lines and one subsidiary line of descent among Rajput clans. These are number one, the descendants of the sun, number two, the descendants of the moon, number three, those belonging to the fire, and four, those descended from the Naga, that is, serpents. The Sunline or the Suryabanshi trace their descent from the ancient house of Ayodhya, in which Rama, the hero of Ramayana, was born. The Moonline or the Chandravamsha, claiming descent from the moon, trace their ancestry to Sri Krishna or the Pandavas. The families in the fire line are supposed to have arisen out of the sacrificial fire of the sage Vasishta on the mountain Abu, and the Naga line claimed to be descendants of the famous Naga rulers like Takshaka, whose stories are given together with the Pandava story in Mahabharata. Each line is divided into numerous clans and subclans. The major clans can marry among one another, but the subclans of one major clan do not intermarry. Thus, the Surya Bansha has three major clans or kula. Number A, the Guhlot, item B, the Kachwaha, and C, the Rathod. These can marry each other. The moon line, that is Chandravansha, is also divided into clans, which in turn are divided into subclans. The fire line or Agnibansha has four main clans, among whom the Chauhans and Paramars are famous. The fire line or Agnibansha has four main clans among whom the Chauhans and Paramars are famous. The Nagabansha or serpent line has but few clans found in a very few places, though in medieval inscriptions like sorry, though in medieval inscriptions kings calling themselves Nagas are mentioned. The Nagas ruled around Mathura and parts of UP and central India in the 4th century AD. One of the subclans of the Nagas, calling itself Sindh, seems to have ruled in some districts of Maharashtra and Andhra from the 10th to the 14th century. All the clans have gotras, that is, names of the rishis attached to them. These gotras do not seem to be of ancient origin, nor do they seem to have a function as regards marriage. They seem to have been borrowed from the Brahmins as so many other castes have done. As already pointed out, the Bansha or line and the clans or kula are arranged in a hypergamous structure in which the sun line is higher than the moon line, which in turn is higher than the fire line. The serpent line is lower than both the sun and the moon lines, but what position it holds vis-a-vis the fire line is not quite clear. A careful study of the names of the clans reveals that the Rajput caste does not represent one homogeneous tribe. It seems to be made up of various Central Asiatic tribes of Scythian origin and some pastoral tribes of Indian Aryan origin. The hypergamous arrangement reflects possibly various social relationships. One is the purity and nobility of descent, and the second is the fact of being a hero and a ruler. According to the popular theory, the Surya Bansha gave its daughters to Surya Bansha Rajputs only, while it received daughters from the other lines. The Chandra Bansha gave its daughters to Surya Bansha and received from Agni Bansha and Naga Bansha, while Agni Bansha could give rulers to others but could not receive from none. Diagram of hypergamy. The girls went up the social ladder. This theoretical position is not very strictly adhered to in practice, inasmuch as one finds exchange of daughters among different bansas. What one does find, however, is that there is always a certain order of nobility, and though ruling houses may give or take daughters occasionally in different clans, the number of clans from which girls are received in marriage is always greater than those to which one gives daughters in marriage in the case of clans with a high status. The ladder like structure of the clans also established certain claims as regards marriage. A girl married into a higher family hoped to bring another girl of her patrifamily as a bride to the heir. The bride's family jealously guarded this privilege of providing brides to a given family, and so we have cases of one way cross cousin marriages in each generation, as is illustrated in the ruling house of Jodhpur, where a princess of the Bhati or Bhatti family of Jaisalmer has been given in marriage to a prince of Jodhpur for the last few generations. A perusal of the history of the Jodhpur clan shows that a majority of the rulers of this state had a Bharti princess as one of their queens. This relationship is brought out in a proverb which says that a girl goes into the same house as her father's sister. Fai Pachal Batriji Jave. The other type of cross cousin marriage is not allowed among Rajputs. A woman does not marry her mother's brother's son. This type of marriage is supposed to lower the status of a girl. A sketch has already been given illustrating the ladder like arrangement of the Rajput clans. The actual arrangement is not quite so simple because there is more than one family on each step of the low social ladder, while the exact position of many is in dispute. Girls either marry into families on the same step or into those which are above them. How far up the social ladder a girl can marry will depend on several things. Extraordinary beauty has always helped women to go up the social ladder by marriage, but there are limits to this transaction. A man, even a king, could not raise a woman to this status unless she belonged to certain well recognized groups. He could never, for example, marry an untouchable, and the chances of other humble castes were remote, while those of Rajputs were the best. In theory, the status of the child is the status of the father. In practice, the status depends to some extent on the status of the mother too. A king with many wives has sons who have different status depending on the status of their mothers. In a society where children died in great numbers, there was always the chance of the son of a woman of low status surviving others and becoming the ruling prince and thus raising the prestige of his mother's group. The question of status is discussed most explicitly in old literature, but actually in a fighting community, personal valor, acquisition of territory, and legitimacy of birth give a man enough status to aspire to the highest honor. Even so, however, a man of humble origin could not ordinarily aspire to the hand of a girl of the highest clan. Such an occurrence led either to feuds or formed the theme for romantic songs. In cases where a bride price is not received, the compensation is not merely higher social esteem but also material gains in indirect ways. Attention was drawn to the part played by the wife's brother in Sanskrit literature and among the northern people. The same role is again seen in Rajput history. A girl married into a ruling family tries to get her relatives appointed to different posts. If her husband dies leaving an infant son, her father's people become very powerful and sometimes usurp the kingdom. The Sala is here too a word of contempt. The dichotomy of relatives between one's own people and the wife's people, the father's people and the mother's people is not diminished by the cross cousin marriage but is sharpened in many cases because of it and because of the stated problem it involves. During the early Middle Ages, Rajputs spread all over India and are found today in large numbers all over the regions of the northern and central zones. In each region, they have taken brides from local people and are thus considered to be of mixed origin, with the result that from Rajputana to Bihar, the status of Rajput clans, whatever origin, the sun, moon, or fire they may claim, becomes lower and lower the more easterly their region. The Rajputs of Bihar are lower in status than those of eastern UP, who in turn are lower than those of western UP. These occupy a humbler position as against the clans in Rajputana, who thus stand above all Rajputs in the rest of India. The rough rule for marriage is given in the saying, the girl from the east, the boy from the west. Purab ki beti, Pachim ka beta. Anthropological literature on India is full of descriptions of castes and subcastes of India, and everyone has noted the tendency of castes to split into smaller units. But the reverse process has also been going on in India. In such a process, new folk elements coming as conquerors or new settlers have absorbed original elements, and later settlers and welded all into one loose caste group. The two most notable examples of such a process are the Rajputs of Rajasthan and the Marathas of Maharashtra. Both these are fighting confederacies. As warriors, they accepted daughters from the conquered group but did not give theirs in return. They thus came to have a hypergamous structure of society. The hypergamous marriage can exist without cross cousin marriage, as it does in fact in the case of certain northern Brahmins and among certain Gujarat castes and among Rajputs themselves. The cross cousin marriage by which a man marries his mother's brother's daughter is not a compulsory form of marriage among Rajputs, but it is quite frequent and is mentioned in many stories about the ruling houses of Rajputana, Kathiawar, and Gujarat. This type of marriage develops a relationship among certain families where one family gives daughters and the other receives them. The hypergamy is such that the givers are socially inferior to the receivers. The degree of inferiority may be so great that sometimes the groom does not go personally to the bride's village for the marriage ceremony but sends his spouse to represent him. B.N. Majumdar notes that this urge to give daughters into their families is so great that among the families of the highest status, many girls have to remain spinsters as they cannot find grooms of their own status without a dowry. The boys in this status group generally have more than one wife. In the lower status group, on the other hand, there are many bachelors
who have contained themselves with the elder brother's widow or who practice ritual polyandry. The marriage of a man to his mama's, that is,
mother's brother's daughter, seems to be a result of the impact and subsequent absorption of the northern people, with some southern people who already had the practice of
cross-cousin marriage. Possibly the northern conquerors accepted brides from the southern people but refused to give their daughters in return and so weakened the central zone of culture. Contact where such a marriage is found among castes which are arranged in a hierarchical fashion. We also find that throughout the south, wherever only one type of cross-cousin marriage, that of a man to his mother's brother's daughter, exists to the exclusion of the other type, that of a man to his father's sister's daughter, there is always some claim to social superiority or to the rank of the kshatriya or warrior caste or to an affiliation from the north. This surmise is further strengthened by the data for Maharashtra. Before, however, dealing with Maharashtra, it is necessary to describe in short the pattern for the region of Kathiawar and Gujarat. The kinship terminology of the linguistic regions in the central zone is given in the table of the kinship
terms. Okay. Table C. Column 1, ego or relationship to ego. Column 2, Rajasthani. Column 3, Gujarati. Column 4, Uriya. Column 5, Marathi. Number 1, father. In Rajasthani, Bapu, Fayaji Babu, Kako, Dadaji, Bap. In Gujarati, Bapu, Bapa. In Uriya, Bappa, Nanna. In Marathi, Bapa. Father's father. Baba, Dada in Rajasthani. Dada in Gujarati. In Uriya, JJ Bapa, Gansai Bapa, Aja, Thakura Bappa. In Marathi, Aja. Father's father. Parbaba, Pardada in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati. In Uriya, Anaja. In Marathi, Panaja. Mother's father, Nana in Rajasthani, Aja Nana in Gujarati, Ajja Nanna in Uriya, Aja in Marathi. Mother's father's father, Parnana in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati, Anaja in Uriya, Panaja in Marathi. Father's brother, general term, not given in Rajasthani. In Gujarati, it is Kaka. In Uriya, also not given. In Marathi, it is Chulata Kaka. Father's brother, who is elder to father, Tau and Baba in Rajasthani, Mota Bapu in Gujarati, Dada, Sanna Baba, Jetapa, Jetha in Uriya, not given in Marathi. Father's brother, who is younger to father, Kaka or Chacha in Rajasthani, Kaka in Gujarati, Kakka, Kudata, Kaka in Uriya, not given in Marathi. In Uriya, Kakka, Kudata, Kaka, Chacha, Dadi, and not given in Marathi. Number 7, mother's brother. Mama in Rajasthani, Mama in Gujarati, Mamo in Uriya, Mama or Mavala in Maharathi. Mother. Ma and Jiji in Rajasthani, Ma and Ba in Gujarati, Ma, Akka, Atta, Ai, Ja in Uriya, Ai in Marathi. Mother's mother, Nani in Rajasthani, Nanima, Naniba in Gujarati, Ai, Aji in Uriya, Aji in Marathi. Mother's father's mother, Parnani in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati and Oriya, Panaji in Marathi. Father's mother, Dadi in Rajasthani, Dadi in Gujarati, Gunsaima, Jeji, Aima in Oriya, Aji in Marathi. Father's mother, Pardadi in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati and Oriya, Panaji in Marathi. Father's sister, when elder to the father, as well as younger, is Bhua in Fufi in Rajasthani, Fai Fui in Gujarati, Piyusi Atta in Oriya, Atya Mavalana in Marathi. Mother's sister, both elder and younger, called Mausi in Rajasthani, Masi in Gujarati, Mausi in Oriya, Maushi in Marathi. Brother, general term, Bhai, Bhaiya, Bhayo in Rajasthani, Bhai, Vira in Gujarati, Bhai in Oriya, Bhau in Marathi. Elder brother, not given in Rajasthani and Gujarati, Upra Bhai, Uthya Bhai in Oriya, not given in Marathi. Younger brother, Bhaiji in Rajasthani, not given in the other languages. Father's brother's son, general term, Chachera Bhai in Rajasthani, Pitreya Bhai in Gujarati, Pua Bhai in Oriya, Chulat Bhau in Marathi. When older than ego, not given in Rajasthani and Gujarati, Daddai Pua Bhai, Jetha Pua, Dadi in Oriya, Chulat Bhav in Marathi. Sorry, not given in Marathi. Younger than ego, Pua Bhai, Kakhoi Pua Bhai in Oriya, not given in Rajasthani, Gujarati and Marathi. Father's sister's son, Fufera Bhai in Rajasthani, Fuyat Bhai, Fuat Bhai in Gujarati, Pivasi Pua Bhai in Oriya, Ate Bhau Mehuna in Marathi. Mother's brother's son, Mamera Bhai in Rajasthani, Molai Bhai in Gujarati, Mamo Pua Bhai in Oriya, Mame Bhav or Mehuna in Marathi. Father's sister's son, Mausera Bhai in Rajasthani, Masiat Bhai in Gujarati, Mausi Pua Bhai in Oriya, Maus Bhav in Marathi. Sister, general term, Bahin, Bai, Bhan in Rajasthani, Ben, Bon, Bena, Bona, Bheni in Gujarati, Bhavni, Bahin in Oriya, Bahina in Marathi. Elder sister, Jiji, Bahin, Baiji in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati, Atta, Apa, Didi in Oriya, not given in Marathi. Younger sister, Bahin in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati, Bala in Oriya, not given in Marathi. Father's brother's daughter, general term, Chacheri Bahin in Rajasthani, Gujarati, Pitreya Bena, not given in Oriya, Chulat Bahina in Marathi. When father's brother's daughter, when elder than ego, not given in Rajasthani and Gujarati, but Daddai Zia Bhauni in Oriya, not given in Marathi. Father's brother's daughter, younger than ego, not given in Rajasthani, Gujarati and Marathi, but Kakkoi Zia Bhauni in Oriya. Father's sister's daughter, Fuferi Behin in Rajasthani, Fuyat Bena in Gujarati, Piyusi Zia Bhauni in Oriya, Ate Bhaina Mehuni in Marathi. When father's sister's daughter is younger than ego, There is no term in any of the languages. Mother's brother's daughter is Mameri Bahin in Rajasthani, Molai Bena in Gujarati, Mamozia Bhavni in Guriya, Mame Bahina Mahuni in Marathi. Mother's sister's daughter, Mauseri Behen in Rajasthani, Masiai Bena in Gujarati, Mausi Zia Bhavni in Guriya, Maus Bahina in Marathi. Son, बेटो, बेटा, पुत्र, लड़का, गिगो, गिगलो, चोरो in Rajasthani, दिक्रो, गगा in Gujarati, पुवो, जादा, पिला, पुआ, पो in Guriya, ल्योक, मुलगा, पुता in Marathi. Brother's son, when a man is speaking, Bhatija, Bhatijo in Rajasthani, Bhatrijo in Gujarati, Puttura in Uriya, Putanya in Marathi. Brother's son, when a woman is speaking, Bhatija, Bhatijo in Rajasthani, Bhatrijo in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Bhacha in Marathi. Sister's son, when a man is speaking, Bhanja, Bhanjo, Maine in Rajasthani, Bhanej, Bhanka in Gujarati, Bhanaja in Uriya, Bhacha in Maharashtrian. Sister's son, when a woman is speaking, Maine in Rajasthani, Bhanej or Bhanka in Gujarati, Bhanaja in Uriya, Bhacha, Lyok in Marathi. Son's son, Nati, Poto, Pota in Rajasthani, Dikrano, Dikro, Potro in Gujarati, Natu, Napta, Nati in Uriya, Natu in Marathi. Son's son, Nati or Parnati in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati, Ananati in Uriya, Panatu in Marathi. Daughter's son, Devatha Duhito in Rajasthani, Dikrino Dikro Bhana in Gujarati, Natu, Napta, Navsa, Nati in Uriya, Natu in Marathi. Daughter's son's son, not given in Rajasthani and Gujarati, Ananati in Uriya, Panatu in Marathi. Daughter, Beti or Larki in Rajasthani, Dikri in Gujarati, Zia in Uriya, Lake Mulagi in Marathi. Brother's daughter, when a man is speaking, Bhatiji in Rajasthani, Bhatriji in Gujarati, Ziari in Uriya, Putani Dhadi in Marathi. Brother's daughter, when a woman is speaking, Bhatiji in Rajasthani, Bhatriji in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Bhachi in Marathi. Sister's daughter, when a man is speaking, Bhanji in Rajasthani, Bhanji or Bhanki in Gujarati, Bhanaji in Uriya, Bhachi in Marathi. Sister's daughter, when a woman is speaking, Bhanji in Rajasthani, Bhanji or Bhanki in Gujarati, Bhanaji in Uriya, Bhachi or Lake in Marathi. Daughter's daughter, Devati Duhiti in Rajasthani, Dikrini Dikri or Bhani in Gujarati, Natuni in Uriya, Nath in Marathi. Daughter's daughter, Devati or Duhiti in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati, Ananathuni in Uriya, Panati in Marathi. Son's daughter, Natini or Poti in Rajasthani, Dikrani Dikri in Gujarati, Nathuni in Uriya, Nath in Maharashtrian. Son's daughter, not given in Rajasthani and Gujarati, Ananathuni in Uriya, Panati in Marathi. Father, sister's husband, Fafa or Fufo in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati, Piusa in Uriya, not given in Marathi. Husband's father, Sasur, Susar, Sasuro in Rajasthani, Sasaro in Gujarati, Sasura in Uriya, Sasara, Mamanji in Marathi. Wife's father, Sasur, Susar, Sasuro in Rajasthani, Sasaro in Gujarati, Sasura in Uriya, Sasara, Mama in Maharashtrian. Mother, sister's husband, Mausa, Mauso, Mausoji in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati, Mausa in Uriya, Mausa in Maharashtrian. Mother's brother's wife, Mami or Mai in Rajasthani, Mami in Gujarati, Mai in Uriya, Mami in Marathi. Father's brother's wife, Tai, Kaki, Chachi in Rajasthani, Kaki in Gujarati, Dhethe, Khudi, Kaki, Kurdi, Jethai in Uriya, Kaku, Kaki, Chulati in Marathi. Husband's mother, Sas in Rajasthani, Sasu, Hau, Fui among some castes in Gujarati. In Uriya, Sasu, Atta. In Marathi, Sasu, Mavalan. Wife's mother, Sas in Rajasthani. In Gujarati, Sasu and Hau, Mami among some castes. Uriya, Sasu. Marathi, Sasu, Mami. Husband in Rajasthani, Marat, Dhani, Pati, Beed. Gujarati, Pati, Manasa. Uriya, Ghoita, Gerastha, Andra, Arja, Ghaita. In Marathi, Navara, Pati, Karabhari. Husband's brother, general term, not in any languages. When elder than husband, Jet in Rajasthani, Jetha in Gujarati, Detsur, Jerdasura in Uriya, Bhavji, Bhava, Dira in Marathi. When younger than husband, Devar in Rajasthani, Der or Dear in Gujarati, Devar, Diara, Debara in Uriya, name plus Bhavji or Dera in Marathi. Wife's brother, general term, Sala, Salo, Sala, Sala Salo in Rajasthani, Sala or Halo in Gujarati, Sala Ghara Ardu Bhai Bakira in Uriya, Sala Mehuna in Marathi. Elder than wife or younger than wife, the same terms. Sister's husband, Bahanoi in Rajasthani, Banavi in Gujarati, Grama Hasaka in Uriya, Mehuna Banevi in Marathi. Elder sister's husband is Jija in Rajasthani, not given in the other languages. Younger sister's husband, not given in any of the language. Husband's sister's husband, Nanadoi, Nanedev, Jijoji in Rajasthani, Nandoi in Gujarati, Nanadei in Uriya, Nanadoi, Nananda in Marathi. Wife's sister's husband, Sadhu in Rajasthani, Sadhu Bhai in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Sadhu, Sadbhav in Marathi. Son's wife's father, Samadhi or Sago in Rajasthani, Vevahi in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Vyahi in Marathi. Daughter's husband's father, Samadhi or Sago in Rajasthani, Vevahi in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Vyahi in Marathi. Wife, Lugai or Bhu or Bahu or Binani in Rajasthani, Vahu or Bairi in Gujarati, Maipo or Bharia in Uriya, Bayako, Karabharin in Marathi. Husband's sister, Nanad in Rajasthani, Nanand in Gujarati, Nanad in Uriya, Nanada, Nananda, Vanse, Vainse in Marathi. Wife's sister, general term not given in Rajasthani, Sali in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Sali in Marathi. Wife's sister, when elder than wife, Badsas in Rajasthani, Patla Sasu in Gujarati, Ded Sasu, Jethi in Uriya, Akkad Sasu in Marathi. Wife's sister, younger than wife, Sali in Rajasthani, Sali in Gujarati, Sali Kelukunchika in Uriya, Mehuni in Marathi. Brother's wife, general term not given in Rajasthani, Bhojai in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Bhavajaya, Bhava I in Marathi. Brother's wife, when she is the elder brother's wife, is called Bhabi in Rajasthani, Bhabhi in Gujarati, Bhaujo Nuabohu in Uriya, Vahini in Marathi. Younger brother's wife is Bahu or Binani in Rajasthani, Vahu or Bhabi in Gujarati, Bhaivahu in Guriya, name plus Vahini, Jau in Marathi. Name plus Vahini in Marathi. Jau belongs to another term, is another term. Husband's brother's wife, Jau in Marathi, not given in other languages. Husband's elder brother's wife is Jethani or Jethani in Rajasthani, Jethani in Gujarati, Ja or Jothani in Uriya, Bai in Marathi. Husband's younger brother's wife, Devrani, Diorani in Rajasthani, Derani in Gujarati, Ja in Uriya, not given in Marathi. Wife's brother's wife, Saraheli, Sahalaj, Salaheli in Rajasthani, Salaheli in Gujarati, Salbhavjo in Uriya, Salai, Salakai in Marathi. Son's wife's mother, Samadhin or Saggi in Rajasthani, Vevan in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Vihina, Vihina in Marathi. Daughter's husband's mother, Samadin or Sagi in Rajasthani, Vevan in Gujarati, Vriya not given, Vihina in Marathi. Daughter's husband, Jamai or Pavano in Rajasthani, Jamai or Anwar in Gujarati, Jwa, Jwai or Jwani and Jain in Uriya, Javai in Marathi. Husband's brother's son, Jethot, Jetho in Rajasthani, Bhatrijo in Gujarati, Putura in Uriya, Putanya in Marathi. Husband's sister's son, Bhanapa or Bhanajo in Rajasthani, Bhanij in Gujarati, Nanandra in Uriya, Bhacha in Marathi. Wife's brother's son, Batijo in Rajasthani, Bhatrijo among some castes, not given in Uriya, not given in Marathi. Wife's sister's son, Bhatijo in Rajasthani, Bhano among some castes in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, not given in Marathi. Son's wife, Bahu, Binani in Rajasthani, Vahu in Gujarati, Bohu, Parajya in Uriya, Soon in Marathi. Husband's brother's daughter, not given in Rajasthani, Bhatriji in Gujarati, Ziari in Uriya, Putani in Marathi. Husband's sister's daughter, Bhanaji in Rajasthani, Bhanji in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Bhaji in Marathi. Wife's brother's daughter, Bhatiji in Rajasthani, not given in the other languages. Wife's sister's daughter, Bhatiji in Rajasthani, not given in the other languages. Father's wife other than ego's mother, Sauteli Ma Mausi in Rajasthani, Savki Ma in Gujarati, Kanyanmai, Kanyabau, Dihai, sorry, Kanyanma, Kanyabau, Dhai in Uriya, Savatra Ai, Maushi in Marathi. Mother's husband other than ego's father, Sautela Bap in Rajasthani, not given in Gujarati, Palatima in Uriya, not given in Marathi. No, given. Savatra Bapa in Marathi. Co-wife, not given in Gujarati. Sokya, sorry, not given in Rajasthani. Sokya in Gujarati, not given in Uriya. Savata in Marathi. Co-husband, when he is from father's house, not given in Rajasthani. Piera or Nahyara in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, not given in Marathi. When co-husband is from mother's house, not given in Rajasthani, Maher in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Maher in Marathi. When co-husband is from mother's father's house, not given in Rajasthani, Mosal in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Ajola in Marathi. When co-husband is from husband's father's house, not given in Rajasthani, Sasaru in Gujarati, not given in Uriya, Sasar in Marathi. Woman of a house by marriage, co-husband from husband's father's, woman of a house by marriage, not given in Rajasthani, woman of a house, not given. Sasurvasin in Marathi, not given in the other languages. Woman of a house by birth, Mahyari in Gujarati, Maher Vasin in Marathi. It will be seen that it is almost identical with the northern terminology, except that in the case of certain castes, the term for mother's brother, with mama or mamo or mama, is used also for the wife's father, besides the usual northern term sasra. This new usage of the term mamo agrees well with the custom of the marriage of a man to his mother's brother's daughter. The custom of levirate is found among many people of the lower castes. In Gujarat, the word dear or husband's younger brother is used as a term of abuse of an obscene kind. Almost, sorry, among almost all castes, there is permission for a man to marry his wife's younger sister. The elder sister is, on the other hand, a taboo relation, and among some sections is called Patla How, that is, the mother in law whom one gives a seat of honor, the Pat. Some of the Gujarati terms are similar to the Marathi terms. The terms for sons and daughters, father-in-law and mother-in-law are Vevahi and Vevan from Sanskrit, Vaivahika, that is one who marries, and are like the Marathi terms Vyahi and Vihin. Though Gujarati has different terms for grandfather, the word Aja in the expression Aja Padwa is the same as Marathi Aja. Instead of the northern word Nanihal, that is the house of the mother's father, the Gujarati word Masal, the house of the mother's brother. The word Veer is used for brother in Gujarati and Rajasthani folk songs. The expression Madi Jayo Veer is used for an own brother. It means a brother born of the same mother. Gujarat and Maharashtra have many folk songs and folk tales in common, some of them almost identical. The folk songs and folk tales which tell of the Mama's house seem not to have been frequent in Gujarat. Maharashtra shares them with Karnataka. Kathiawat and Gujarat. Towards the south, the hills of Rajputana merge gradually into the North Gujarat plain, which is a treeless tract of undulating dunes of yellow sandy loam. This loamy sand yields rich crops wherever it is watered, but presents an arid appearance away from its inundation lakes and the few rivers which cut through it. At present, Kathiawat is connected with North Gujarat and Kutch by a shallow belt of land which is inundated in the floods and which has a chain of salt lakes in the dry regions of the year. Northeastern Kathiawat is a flat plain and presents an arid appearance with its salt flats. The rest of Kathiawat contains the volcanic trap formation and black soil of Maharashtra. Its coastal strip is fertile. In spite of a long coastline, it has very few good harbors. It is sparsely populated now, but has a history of prosperous trade and great kingdoms in the early Middle Ages. Kathiawar and north and central Gujarat have some purely nomadic pastoral castes which live in a symbiotic relation with the agricultural caste. In dress, bearing, and social life, they are very different from the surrounding population. Ahirs or Ayats are found in Kathiawar and the borders of Gujarat. Rabari are found especially in what was formerly the Baroda state. And Bharat and Bharvat are found in the northern and central Gujarat, east of the Rabaris. The Ahirs in historical times used to wander right up to the borders of Sindh. Castes bearing the names of Ahirs and following pastoral pursuits are found in Maharashtra, central India, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar. Ahir is a clan name among Marathas and Rajputs. Probably they represent a wave of post-Christian migration into India of some Central Asiatic pastoral people. Bharwad too seem to be a purely Gujarat caste. The women of these castes dress in a fashion which is akin to that of the people of Rajasthan and consists of a skirt and a bodice with a wrap to cover the head and shoulders. The other communities of Gujarat, like the Bania and Kandi, that is the traders and the agriculturists, dress in an entirely different way. All the ruling houses of Kathiawat and Gujarat are of Rajput extraction. A small caste called Kathi have given their name to Kathiawat, its ancient name being Saurashtra. Besides these castes, there are Kolis who are spread throughout Kathiawat
and Gujarat, and the Dheds, who are found in Gujarat. Both these castes are very widespread in Maharashtra and very probably represent an old stratum of population in these regions of the central zone. The Dhed Vankar are known as Dhed in northern Maharashtra, but their more common name is Mahar. A glance at the map will show that Bhil are one of the most numerous of the primitive tribes of this zone and has spread through Rajputana, central India, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. It is thus found in four separate linguistic regions.
As regards kinship organization, Kathiawad and Gujarat show the northern practices as also the custom of cross cousin marriage of the type where a man marries his mother's brother's daughter. Besides these, Gujarat has certain customs peculiar to some of its castes. The most important among these is that of periodic marriages. Certain castes, like the Bharwat, allow marriages once a year. Certain others, like the Kadwa Kambi, in the recent past allowed marriages once every 4, 5, 9, or 12 years. When the marriage year arrives, it is announced from village to village and there is a rush to perform marriages. Little infants in arms got married on such occasions. Pregnant women went through the ceremony of marriage on behalf of the child they were carrying. If the children of two such women happened to be of the same sex, the marriage was null and void, but if they were of different sex, the marriage was binding. Sometimes quite unsuited pairs like a grown-up man and an infant girl or a grown-up woman and an infant boy got married on such occasions. Later on, such marriages were dissolved and each partner could then enter into a new alliance called Nantra, which did not require the help of a priest or an auspicious time. The custom of levirate by which the widow either lives with or marries the younger brother of her husband is found among the lower castes of Gujarat. Folk tales, proverbs, and songs bear ample testimony to this custom, though people get angry at such an inquiry. The word bhabi, used for elder brother's wife, is a respectful term in modern times, but it was not so during medieval times when it was taken as an insulting mode of address for a respectable woman. A story tells that a woman so addressed by a king burnt herself and her curse destroyed the whole line of the king. In the story, the term bhabi is contrasted to the terms ben, sister, or ma, mother, which are the proper terms of address by a stranger to an unknown woman. Just as a man must not use the term bhabi for a woman, so also the term dear is not used by a woman for a stranger except in abuse. All over in India, in all languages, there are songs about an old man married to a very young girl. Even Rigveda has a fling at such a match. Gujarat has its own quota of such songs, but besides these, it has songs about another sort of an ill matched pair, that of a grown up woman and an infant boy. In such songs, the woman gathered at the village well are depicted as asking the bride solicitously if her boy husband was sleeping in his cradle while she came away to the village well, whether he had enough playthings and whether he cried too much. When I first heard the songs, I thought they referred to a social situation arising out of levirate, whereby a widow passes on as wife of to an infant brother of a dead husband. Further inquiry, however, showed that such a marriage, on many occasions, is the first marriage of a woman. I was told by a reliable informant in Ahmedabad that in such a household, the father of the boy lives with the bride and the children born of the union are fathered on the little boy. When the boy comes of age, he marries a woman more suited to him. I have not come across such a family, nor heard a song or a story depicting the behavior of kin in such a household. The custom of periodic marriages is fast dying out, and so it would be difficult to find such households which, even in old days, must have been rather exceptional. In Gujarat and Kathiawar, the Brahmins, the Banyas, the Kandis, and the higher artisan castes follow the northern pattern of kinship organization, but even among these, there are certain practices which seem to be of southern origin. In Gujarat and Kathiawar, the Brahmins, the Banyas, the Kanbis, and the higher artisan castes follow the northern pattern of kinship organization. But even among these, there are certain practices which seem to be of southern origin. One such practice is the custom of sending a girl to her father's home for confinement. Among Anavil Brahmins of South Gujarat, this is an invariable rule and it is found among many other castes also. The Brahmins and the Banyas are divided into innumerable subcastes, which are so small that it does not seem possible to stick to the rule of not marrying close relations. Inquiry showed that the marriage in one's own patrilineage was not allowed, but one could marry a cross cousin removed by two, preferably by 3 degrees. That is, the grandchildren or the great grandchildren of a brother and a sister can marry. There are, however, other castes among whom cross cousin marriage is allowed and who use the words Mamaji and Mamiji for the wife's or husband's father and mother. Among the Kathi, the Ahir, the Gadhava, Charan, the Gadhavacharan, a ministerial caste, and the Garasiya, a lower type of the Rajput caste, it was not uncommon for a man to marry his mother's brother's daughter. In this context, I was told the proverb, Fai Pachal Batriji Jave. A girl follows the father's sister as bride into a house, both in Kathiawar and Gujarat. The Koli, the Dhed, and the Bhil were the castes most difficult to assess. Some appeared to allow both types of cross-cousin marriage, that is, a man may marry either the mother's brother's daughter or the father's sister's daughter. Some allowed only the first type, while the others flatly denied the existence of such a custom and told me that they did not allow marriages among any blood relation. Some of the Koli songs I heard refer to cross cousins as lovers. Kolis are found all over the region in different occupations. They and the Dhed and Bale tend to imitate the social norms of the higher castes, and the educated urbanized sections among these castes pattern their behavior on that of the higher castes. Still, there is no doubt at all that these three castes, representing perhaps the original population of the central zone, practice caste cousin marriage and that the kinship terms in consequence are also modified in the use they are put to. Maharashtra. The very fact that the central zone lies between the northern and the southern Dravidian zones gives each of its linguistic areas a far greater variety than is found either in the northern or the southern zone. Rajputana and Gujarat illustrate an area in which a majority of castes follow the northern pattern with certain modifications, and where a few castes practice the custom of a man marrying his mother's brother's daughter. The terminology is Sanskritic in origin, and some terms which are non-Sanskritic do not have a Dravidian origin but may be of Central Asiatic derivation. Maharashtra, on the other hand, is an area where the Sanskritic northern trades and the Dravidian southern trades almost hold a balance with perhaps a slight predominance for the former. Maharashtra, or the country where the language spoken is Marathi, lies athwart the middle portion of India from the Arabian Sea on the west to the eastern forests and hills near Orissa on the east. To the north of this area, though the languages spoken are officially northern languages like Gujarati, Rajasthani, Nimadi, and Hindi, there is a vast belt of broken mountain ranges, the Satpura and the Vindhya, and forests which harbor many primitive tribes which speak Mundari and Dravidian languages mixed with the Sanskritic languages enumerated above. To the south and southeast of Maharashtra is bounded by plain, fertile country and populous areas where the true Dravidian languages Kannada and Telugu are spoken. Inscriptions and records show that parts of Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra were ruled by the Satavahana kings for 7 centuries, by Chalukya kings for 250 years, and by Rashtrakuta kings for a similar period as one kingdom or empire. Geographically and politically, it was an area of cultural contacts, and this fact is reflected in the social institutions of Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, the caste structure is a little different from either the southern or the northern zone. The Marathas and the Kumbis together form about 40% of the population. The Marathas are supposed to be higher in status, but a rich Kumbi can reach the Maratha status as a proverb shows. The two call themselves Kshatriya. In western Maharashtra, all those who were treated as Kumbis some 50 and 25 years ago now call themselves Maratha. In eastern and northern Maharashtra, the Kumbis, though retaining the caste name Kumbi, also like to call themselves Kshatriyas. This Maratha Kumbi complex, though neither educationally advanced nor wealthy, has always been conscious of itself as a fighting and a ruling class. The Maratha wars against Aurangzeb heightened this feeling, and even today, the headman or patil of most villages is a Maratha. There is no doubt at all that this class has assimilated various ethnic strains and that though they go by one name, there are various endogamous subcastes within it. In spite of this, however, there is in spite of this, however, this class represents the cultural traits of Maharashtra and its practices and family names are taken up by most of the lower caste. In northern Maharashtra, that is the basins of the rivers Tapi, Purna, Vardha, and Vainganga, there are many Kunbi castes, each subdivided into exogamous clans. Some of these admit having the custom of levirate, some have a taboo on cousin marriage, while some practice cross cousin marriage. In central Maharashtra, where the Marathas are the dominating caste, one type of cross cousin marriage and hypergamous clan organization is almost the rule. While in southern Maharashtra, there are instances of both types of cross cousin marriages as also of uncle niece marriage among some castes. The clan organization of the Marathas has some similarities with that of the Rajputs. They have not the elaborate mythology associated with the origin of the Rajput clans, but many clans claim to be Rajput in origin and so naturally claim also the mythological origin of the Rajputs. Some of the names of the Marathas are similar to the dynastic names of the kingdoms after the 8th century of this era. These are Shelar or Shilahar of North Konkan, Kadam or Kadamba of South Konkan, Shinde Sindh of Sinnar in Nasik district, Chalake or Chalukya. Against these are such names as Chauhan, Powar, Salunke, who seem to be derived from the Rajput clan names like Chauhan, Parmar, Solanki, etc. There are some names which are also claimed to be names of ancient dynasties, like the name More, which some have derived from Maurya, which seems to be a little far-fetched. This name seems to belong to the third type of clan names, which are very large in number. These are names of animals, qualities, or artifacts. Thus, there are clans called Vag, the tiger, More, the peacock, Kalbhor, the black, Thandre, the white, Kudale, the pick, Kurhade, the axe, etc. There are many clan names besides these. There does not seem always to be any totemistic connection between the clan and the animal name it bears, though it is reported that sometimes the flesh of the animal is not eaten by the clan which bears the name. The rule of exogamy is, however, not dependent on the clan name, but on the symbol connected with the clan. This symbol is called Devaka. Devaka may be any living thing or an artifact. Pan kanis, a kind of grass, katyar, a javelin, panch palgi, the leaves of 5 particular trees, are some of the devatas. They seem to have very little significance in ordinary life, but each family worships its devaka at the time of marriage, and no two people having the same devaka can marry. Very few people seem to carry the name of the devaka as their family name. The devaka is not known to many people. It is, however, known to the elders who look into these matters at the time of the marriage. The clans and the devakas both play a part in marriage. The rule of devaka exogamy has already been stated. Those clans which have the same devaka do not marry. The function of the clans in marriage depends on the status of a clan. The Maratha clans are arranged in a hypergamous system. All those who are supposed to be true Marathas belong to 96 clans.
The actual list given by Maratha writers, however, generally contain more than 96 names. Among these 96, there are concentric circles of nobility and status. The highest are called Panchkuli of the five clans. These are the clans of Jadhav, More, Shirke, Pawar, etc. The next division is seven clans, which includes Bhosle and so on. The rule for marriage is that the five, that is, the central circle given in page 158, can marry among themselves or can marry girls from the other clans but do not give their daughters to anyone outside of the five clans. The seven clan division can marry among themselves or can give their daughters to the five clan or receive girls from all the rest except the five clan division. Thus, the hypergamous clan arrangement is like that of the Rajputs and Khatris of modern India. But the totemistic exogamous Devakas seem to have analogies only with the southern exogamous groupings described later. The difference between the Rajput arrangement and this is that among the Rajputs, the Surya Bansha, the Chandra Bansha, etc. are exclusive of each other, while here each in the larger circle. The five clan are part of the seven clan and of the 96 clan. Not so the Bansha, except that they all belong to the same Rajput caste. They can be represented visually on a ladder but not as concentric circles. Like the Rajputs, the Marathas seem to be made up of various ethnic elements, some considering themselves to be higher in status than the others. Unlike the castes in the northern zone, most of the communities in Maharashtra have no marriage taboo based on bilateral kinship. Besides the taboo on the own brothers and sisters, a person must not marry the parallel cousin through the mother and must not marry any parallel paternal cousin. In northern and central Maharashtra, there is also a taboo against the marriage of a man to his paternal cross cousin, that is, his father's sister's daughter. There is a general preference for a man's marriage to his maternal cross cousin, that is, his mother's brother's daughter. Sisters can and do marry the same man. Although there is not a taboo, there is a definite prejudice against two brothers marrying two sisters. Levirate is found among northern Kumbis and other castes, Tirole, Govari, etc., but is not tolerated in the rest of Maharashtra. In medieval literature, there are separate words for elder and younger brother in law, that is, husband's brother, but they have fallen in disuse now. A man can marry his wife's younger sister, but not the elder sister. With the latter, his behavior is very respectful and circumspect, while with the former, he may cut any jokes he pleases. As regards the preference for one type of cross cousin marriage and taboo against the other, the following reasons are given. One should marry as far as possible in a family with which one is connected by former ties of marriage. This is called Padar Lagne, that is, as far as the end of the sari uh, can be traced. If one can establish that a bride was given or taken from a family either in a direct or an indirect way at some time in the past, then one can contract an alliance with it. Supposing there is a proposal of marriage from a family X who have a girl to a family Y who have a marriageable boy, the family will first try to find out if a bride was ever received from or given to the X family. Failing this, they will try to find out whether any of the families, say N, P, or R, with whom they are connected by marriage, have had a marriage transaction with the family X. If such a transaction is traced, then a bride can be received from the said family. The second consideration is about the social status of the people endeavor to give their daughters into a higher social grade and are willing to receive one from a lower grade, but are not willing to offer their daughters as bride to those of the lower status and do not easily get brides who are born in a family higher than theirs. Of the two families X and Y, the question as to who gives daughters as brides to whom depends on the status of the two families. If both belong to the same status, say the five clans mentioned above, each can receive brides from the other, but if they belong to different grades, the one on the higher grade, that is the five clan group, will receive a daughter from the lower, that is the seven clan group. The two customs taken together evolve a certain pattern. The necessity of establishing former marriage connection perpetuates marriage obligation once a marriage has taken place between two families. The social status determines the roles of the two families as givers of brides and receivers of brides. When a man Gopal from the Ghorpade family has married a girl
Sita from the Bhosle family, the two families feel obliged to perpetuate an affinal connection, and Sita's family is anxious to give another daughter into Gopal's family in the next generation, and the new bride is by preference the brother's daughter of Sita. This pattern is adhered to consciously if the superiority sentiments are deep rooted, but even when there are no tacit standards about the superiority or inferiority of clans, this pattern is followed so that a man marries his mother's brother's daughter. A woman is always anxious to bring her brother's daughter as her daughter in law, and that has resulted in the term Atya or Mavalan being applied to both father's sister and husband's mother. There is a belief among all Marathi speaking people, including even those who do not possess clans, that if a man marries his father's sister's daughter, some ill luck befalls the family. The reason against such a marriage is given in an expression, the creeper, that is, a climbing vine must not return. Paratvel yata naye. The girl given to a family as a bride is the creeper or vine. If her daughter comes back as a bride into her father's family, there is a return of the creeper which is contrary to nature. The girl given to a family as a bride is the creeper or wine. If her daughter comes back as a bride into her father's family, there is a return of the creeper which is contrary to nature. The wine with all its shoots, the wine with all its shoots must go in one particular direction. It must not come back. We have thus givers and receivers of girls even among people who theoretically belong to the same status. Among those who are of the same status, ultimately the circle of giving will be closed by C or D or E, giving daughters to A. We have thus a principle of indirect exchange. But very often it leads to social maladjustments by which daughters of highly born families tend to remain unmarried for failing to find a groom of equal status or must marry below their grade and become members of a lower social group. In such marriages, the married girl loses the usual contact with her parents' home and is not treated as an honored guest. These customs lead to a certain established rights. Among Marathas and especially Kunbis, it is customary for the father to take money for a girl when she is given in marriage. If a person marries his mother's brother's daughter, the amount of money paid to the bride's father is always smaller than when a person marries an outsider. We may thus say that money moves in the direction opposite to the direction in which bride. However, in the higher Maratha society, the custom is also found, and a man will marry a girl of a slightly lower state if she brought a substantial dowry, so that the movement of money and brides is all in one direction. The author has heard bitter complaints from high impoverished parents of girls that in modern times men seem to care more for money than for status or nobility. In central Maharashtra and more frequently in south Maharashtra, a man may marry his father's sister's daughter, but on such occasions, sometimes in central Maharashtra and more frequently in south Maharashtra, a man may marry his father's sister's daughter, but on such occasions, some expiatory rite is always performed at the time of marriage. On one such occasion, a miniature replica of a wine was made in gold, passed over the heads of the groom and the bride, and given away to the officiating priest. This was supposed to avert any evil resulting from such a marriage. Sometimes in central Maharashtra and more frequently in South Maharashtra, a man may marry his father's sister's daughter, but on such occasions, some expiatory rite is always performed at the time of marriage. On one such occasion, a miniature replica of a vine was made in gold, passed over the heads of the groom and the bride, and given away to the officiating priest. This was supposed to avert any evil resulting from such a marriage. Exchange of girls as brides between two families is frowned upon by all who have any pretensions to status. It is taken as a sign of extreme poverty. In Maharashtra, many Brahmin castes follow the same pattern as the non-Brahmins. All Brahmins possess gotras, and a man, provided he marries outside his gotra and pravara group, can marry his blood relation on the mother's side, preferably the daughter of the mother's brother. They do not regulate their marriage according to the consanguinity taboos of the north, but on a system of clan exogamy where Gotra takes the function of the clan. Such a cross cousin marriage, that is, a man marrying his mother's brother's daughter or a woman marrying her father's sister's son, is or was up to recently the preferred type of marriage among the Saraswat, the Karhada, and the Deshastha Rigvedi Brahmin castes of Maharashtra. The Chitpavan caste followed the Gotra and Pravara rules. The Chitpavan caste followed the Gotra and Pravara rules and did not allow marriage among people related within 5 generations from the mother and 7 from the father. However, there have been stray cases of cross cousin marriage even among the Chitpavans, where a legal fiction was resorted to make the marriage conform to the usual type. If the boy A is a cross cousin, that is, father sister son of the girl B, and a marriage is arranged, then B is given in adoption to a man C who is in no way related either to the family of A or of B. By adoption, then, B becomes the daughter of a family who is not related consanguinely to A and so can become his bride. In some recent marriages, even this expedient was not felt to be necessary. The Madhyandina caste of Brahmins not only practice the usual rule of Gotra and Pravara, but insist that the Pravara of the bride's mama must be different from the groom's mama, that is, the groom's maternal uncle. This custom is analogous to the northern rule of 4 Gotras, whereby the bride's and groom's grandmothers must also belong to different families. This taboo on all families belonging to the mother's Gotra is not found among other Brahmin castes of Maharashtra. Researchers show that very probably the Madhyandina Brahmins are a later immigration into Maharashtra from the northern zone. The Gujars in Khandesh, that is northwest Maharashtra, do not allow cross cousin marriage and follow northern customs. Recently, however, after much debating in the caste council, permission was granted for one such marriage. One of the caste elders said, quote, "When all around you other castes are indulging in such marriages, you cannot prevent it happening in one isolated caste. One cannot live in the sea and not get wet." End of quote. The difference in the marriage customs in different parts of Maharashtra and the very gradual spread of caste cousin marriage among most castes illustrate the process of cultural exchanges and cultural adjustments and the slow tempo of such changes in the loosely knit caste society of India. This process can be studied and assessed and mapped for a region in all the aspects of culture like dress, utensils, social organization, and language, and makes a very fascinating study in a culture contact region like Maharashtra. A glimpse at the linguistic aspect of this process will be obtained when we deal with the kinship terminology in the Marathi language. Thus, we see that the preferred type of marriage in Maharashtra is that of a man with his mother's brother's daughter. It is found among the majority of castes. The other type of cross cousin marriage, in which a man marries his father's sister's daughter, is not tolerated. It is supposed to result in misfortune, and some expiatory rites need to be performed when it does take place. The endogamous castes, other than the Marathas, do not possess a pronounced hypergamous structure and do not give hypergamy as a reason for following such a practice. But the fact that Marathas do possess such a system and that they also form an influential majority in the region seems to indicate that such a marriage and the accompanying taboo against the other type of cross cousin marriage rest on feelings of superiority and inferiority arising from such a system. The Maratha system of exogamous clans, each with its totemic symbol, have analogies only with the clan system of the southern people and may have been derived from them, the conquering people forming the higher groups while the conquered people acquired a lower status. The immigrants establishing themselves as a ruling class accepted daughters from the indigenous population without, however, deigning to give theirs in return, thus forming the system of cross cousin marriage found in Maharashtra today. The custom of receiving daughters as far as possible from one family and thus establishing certain rights and duties of sexual behavior is also a usual southern custom, and it is possible that the women brought as brides established this custom by bringing daughters in law from their paternal family. The family in Maharashtra is patrilineal and patrilocal, but it has many customs unknown to the northern region, but which are found universally in the south. In the north, a bride comes back after the marriage ceremony and lives with her parents till the Gauna ceremony. After this, she is sent away for good and visits her father's home only very occasionally for ceremonial visits. In Maharashtra, after the marriage, a bride moves to and from her father's house quite frequently before and after reaching puberty. It is customary for a girl to come and stay with her parents during her first pregnancy and delivery. A girl and her people are put to great shame if she has no parental home to go to for her first delivery. This misfortune forms the theme of a number of folk stories. Among the most people, a woman comes and lives with her parents for each pregnancy and delivery, though it is not considered as necessary as at the time of the first delivery. Each big feast day brings back the married woman to her father's house. Once a girl comes to her father's house, it is always very difficult to get her back to her husband's house. The husband's people who come to fetch her are sent back again and again until the gifts they bring ultimately satisfy the parents, or the fear of the disapprobation of the community or a costly lawsuit makes them send back the bride to her husband. In fact, this type of conduct has resulted into almost a norm of social behavior. A girl comes away or runs away very often from the husband's house, goes back reluctantly only to return in a few weeks' time. A woman settles contentedly in her husband's house only after she has given birth to a few children, though the slightest excuse sends her with her children on a visit to the parents' house. This behavior of the bride is encouraged by her parents, sometimes from motives of extorting presents from the boy's parents. Except among the very high born Marathas, it is the general custom among agriculturists to pay bride price, and if a man fails to retain his wife, he may lose both the wife and the bride price. The quarrels of the two parties and the lawsuits filed by husbands for the restoration of conjugal rights form a considerable number of cases in the civil courts of Maharashtra. Curiously, this behavior of the wives is at variance with the usual norm for wifehood, but reflects the stresses and strains of a region where two cultures have met. At least for India, it seems as if the phenomenon of preference for one type of marriage, that of a man to his mother's brother's daughter, is due to culture contact resulting in the establishment of hypergamous caste groups. It is found among the Rajputs and Marathas, who have clans which are composed of different ethnic elements and which live in contact with the southern regions which practice cross cousin marriage. The southern influence is more marked in the Maratha region than in Rajputana and Kathiawad. The language is northern, that is Sanskritic in origin, but the structure of the kinship terms reveals southern influences. Some kinship terms are literary and are used by Brahmins and are purely Sanskritic. There are others, more colloquial and equally respectable, used both by Brahmins and non Brahmins, which can be explained and understood by reference to the southern systems. The Marathi language has a larger kinship vocabulary than any other language either in the north or the south because of the double nomenclature for certain relations. In the north, the words for brother's wife are bhauji or bhabi, that is elder brother's wife, and for husband's sister, nanad. In Marathi, the Sanskritic terms corresponding to the above are bhavajaya and nanand. The term for elder brother's wife is vahini, which, however, is also used for the younger brother's wife. When a man or a woman says simply, so and so is my vahini, it is understood that he refers to his elder brother's wife. If the reference is to a younger brother's wife, one must say dhati vahini, dhati vahini, that is younger vahini. The other word for nanand is vanse or vainse, used as a term of address or also as a term of reference. The words Vahini and Vainse are really the same words, with the difference that a syllable sa or se is added to the word Vahini to turn it into Vahinse. The addition of the syllable sa is quite common in some regions of Maharashtra today and was apparently more widespread in the 13th and 14th century as appears from literary records of those centuries. Thus, the word bab or father is often written as bhapus in older literature and spoken at present as bhapus on the west coast. The words I, mother, bai, a woman, are also written as Aisa, Baisa in Old Marathi. Sa denotes respect. Vaini and vainse are the same words except that to show respect to a relation of the husband, the syllable sa is added when talking to or about the husband's sister. Vahini thus means both husband sister and brother's wife. It is thus a term of mutual address by two women standing in either relation to each other. Such terms are found in the Dravidian languages, and this mode shows that Marathi has borrowed the mode from the south. The purely Sanskritic words Bhavajaya and Nananda are never used in this way, nor are the Marathi people aware that Vahini and Vanse are also the same words. From the meaning of the term also, it is not suited for mutual address. Vahini is made up of two words, Vadhu from Sanskrit, plus Anni, elder brother's wife, a later Dravidian word formed on the analogy of Sanskrit feminine words from the original Anna, elder brother. A woman who is a Vadhu, a bride of the house, being the elder brother's wife, is thus the meaning of the word. Such a term cannot be applied by two women to each other unless there was the custom of exchange of girls between two families. Such exchanges occur but rarely in Maharashtra. In Marathi, there are the usual Sanskritic words for the father in law and mother in law. In Marathi, there are the usual Sanskritic words for the father in law and mother in law. They are Sasara and Sasu. Besides these, other words Mama or Mamaji for father in law and Mami or Mavalana for mother in law are also in common use. The words Mama and Mami are the usual words for the mother's brother and his wife. These words are applicable only for a man's parents in law, inasmuch as he marries the maternal uncle's daughter, but they are in general use and are employed even among castes who taboo strictly any kind of cross cousin marriage. In Marathi, the word Atya is used for the father's sister and it is used also for husband's mother among the Marathas. The usage is suggestive of the actual practice. The other word for Atya, which is also frequently used is Mavalana, which does not conform to marriage practices at all. The word Mavalana is derived from the Sanskrit word Matulani, the feminine of the Sanskrit word Matula or mother's brother. As there is no custom of exchange marriage, the father's sister cannot really become the mother's brother's wife, and yet the word Mavalana suggests such a usage. There is a picture. A Capital A and small a are a brother and a sister who have married. Small b and capital B, another sister and brother. The son, capital D, of the man, capital B, and the woman, small a, has capital A for his maternal uncle, and the woman, small b, for his paternal aunt. But as small b is the wife of capital A, she is to capital D, number one, his father's sister, as also number two, the wife of the mother's brother. This type of marriage is frowned upon in Maharashtra, and so the kinship terms are not conformable with the actual usage. The third set of double terms refers to the cross cousins. In conformity with the northern languages and northern usage, the Marathi people use the words Mame Bhav and Mame Bahin for the children of the mother's brother, that is the Mama. These terms mean the brother and sister through Mama. In the same way, the children of the father sister are called Ate Bhav and Ate Bahin, that is brother and sister through Ate. The other set of terms as is used for these relatives among many Marathas and Kunbis is Mehuna and Mehuni. These are reciprocal terms, and the relation between the children of a brother and a sister is said to be that of Mehune. The words Mehuna and Mehune are of Sanskrit origin. The Sanskrit word Maithuna or Maithunaka becomes Mehuna or Mehunaga in Prakrit and Mehuna or Mehuna in Marathi. The Sanskrit word Mithuna is not a kinship word at all. It means a pair and is used for any pair of the same sex or of different sexes. In Mahabharata, the twin brothers Nakula and Sakadeva are called Mithuna many times. The word is, however, used oftener for a different sexed pair of birds, beasts, semi divine beings, or human beings. In Marathi, the pair word Sorry, in Marathi, the word mehuna is used without any kinship connotation for a married pair. Thus, on auspicious days, it is customary to invite a mehuna, that is, a married couple of the Brahmin caste, for a meal. In Marathi, the word is not used for any pair but for a human married couple only. The word mehuna is neuter. The words mehuna and mehuni, on the other hand, are masculine and feminine respectively and have only a kinship connotation. The words are applied either to cross cousins or to wife's brother and sister. The word in this context means a marriage partner, one with whom I make a pair, and is a new word coined to meet a new social situation unknown to North India, that is, that of cross cousin marriage. The northern usage equates all cousins to brothers and sisters. Marathi retains the northern terms but has two extra terms to denote the new relationship. In the same way, the fourth pair of words are those used for for the wife's sister and brother. The words Sala and Sali are like northern Sala and Sali, derived from the old Sanskrit word Syala and Syalika. The other pair of words are Mehuna and Mehuni, which we have already discussed above. The custom of using the same words for cross cousins and wives' brothers and sisters seems to be derived from the Dravidian South. Some other peculiarities and modifications of the Marathi terminology may now be discussed. The Marathi word for father is Bapa or Bapu or Baba, which seems to be derived from the Western Bappa and Bapu and is not found in the Sanskrit literature. The word for mother is Ai, and those for grandfather and grandmother are Aja and Aji. All these words are derived from the Sanskrit word Arya or Aryaka. Arya becomes Ayya and Ajja in Pali and Ardhamagadi respectively. From the Prakrit Ajja, Aryaka, we have Marathi Aja and Aji is Marathi feminine form. From Ayya, we would have a masculine form Aya, which is missing, but we have the feminine Ai or Ai for mother. The words Aja and Aji seem originally to have stood for mother, mother's father, and mother's mother. The father's father and mother even now are called among many castes Mathara or Torlabha and Mathari Ai, which means the old or older father and mother. The word Ajol is used in Marathi always for a person's mother's father's house. Ajol in Sanskrit would be rendered as Arya Ajja plus Kula or Ula, that is the family of the Arya. One's father's house is one's own and so needs no separate designation. Mother's parents, being respected affinal relations, would, according to Sanskrit usage, be called Arya and their house is Aryakula. Now, however, the words Aja and Aji are used for grandparents on both sides. The parent's great great parent is called Nipanja and Khapar Panja. Panja is a degree above Aja. The ni of Nipanja is a negative, and the Khapar of Khapar Panja means a potsherd as a symbol of something inauspicious. In Maharashtra, it is supposed to be inauspicious for a man to live long enough to see the face of his great great grandson. The same sentiment is reflected in the words for grandson, great grandson, and great great grandson, which are Natu, Sanskrit Naptra, Panatu, Sanskrit Pranaptra, and Nipantu or Khapar Pantu. It also may indicate the limits of primary kinship in the father's line or the limit of the joint family. There is a flow chart. Nipanja, great great grandfather, to Panja, great grandfather, to Aja, grandfather, Bapa, father, the ego, Put, son, Natu, grandson, Panatu, great grandson, Nipanatu, great great grandson. With the ego in the middle, close kinship in the father's line is counted up to and including three ascending generations and three descending generations. This conception, however, is not elaborated in kinship usage or ritual except on the occasion of offering food to the ancestors. A man offers food to his father, grandfather, and great grandfather by mentioning these relations by the kinship terms, and then he gives an omnibus offering for all those who may be above these. This usage found in Sanskrit literature may have found an expression in this type of terminology. The word for father's brother is Chulta, derived from Prakrit Chulla plus Tau, the younger father, and must stand for father's younger brother. It is, however, used both for the elder and younger brothers of the father. The word Kaka is also similarly used. The words Torlabha and Dhaklabha, elder and younger father, are also used sometimes. The words Mama, Mami, Atya, and Mavalana are already discussed. Among some castes, no one word exists for Atya's husband, while some give the word Mama or Mavala. Mother's sister is Mausi, the same word as Northern Mausi. It is also used for father's younger wife. A man can and does many times marry his wife's younger sister. This custom is reflected in the Marathi proverb I meli keki bapa mausa, that is, after mother's death, the father is but the mausi's husband. It means that from a close blood relation, he becomes as distant as an affinal relation when he marries the younger sister of the mother. The words for brother and sister are similar to those in the northern Bhau and Bahin. The Marathi people, however, use a lot of nicknames to elder and younger brother and elder and younger sister like Dada, Anna, Nana, Bapu, Babu for brothers, and Tai, Mai, Akka, etc. for sisters. They are either words for father and mother. Baba and Bapu are Tai and Mai, or borrowed from Dravidian. Anna, Nana, and Akka. This very peculiar custom of designating brothers by nicknames seems to be derived from the Dravidian custom of nomenclature, which is discussed later. The cousins are either called Bhau and Bahin, or a distinction is made between parallel cousins who are called Bhau and Bahin and the cross cousins who are called Mehune. This has already been discussed above. For relatives of the generation below one's own in the northern zone, as we have seen, there are terms for own son and daughter, Puodhi, brother's son and daughter, Bhatija, Bhatiji, sister's son and daughter, Bhanja Bhanji, husband's brother's son and daughter, Jetut, Derut, Jetuti, Teroti, husband's sister's children, Nandut, etc. Wives, brothers, and sisters, children, Salut, etc. The terms enumerated under first, second, and third are the same whether the speaker is a man or a woman. In Maharashtra, one does not have so many terms, and the type of terms and changes according and the type of terms and changes according as the speaker is a man or a woman. For own son and daughter, the terms are put or lyok or mulga and lake or mulagi. The same terms are used when a woman speaks of her sister's children. The words putanya, putani are used when a man speaks of his brother's children or a woman speaks of her husband's brother's children. When a man speaks of his sister's children, the words are bacha bachi. This system This system is a sort of a compromise between the southern and northern systems. In a purely classificatory system, one would have expected only two pairs of terms for A. Children of the same sexed sibling, own children, husband's brother's children, and wife's sister's children, and B. The children of the different sexed sibling, wife's brother's children, and husband's sister's children. Marathi has not the northern system but has only certain elements of the southern system. It is thus a compromise system of nomenclature for these relations. For husband and wife, there are various terms, mostly of Sanskrit derivation and analogous to the northern terms. We have already discussed the terms for spouse's parents, husband's sister, and wife's brother. The terms for husband's brother are of interest. In old Marathi literature, there were two terms, Bhava for husband's elder brother and Dhira for husband's younger brother. The term Bhava is used as Bhavasasra also and is analogous to the northern term Bhasur. It is retained in the modern term Bhavoji. This term is used among Brahmins for a husband's elder or younger brother. Among agriculturists, it is used for that relation as also for wife's elder brother or elder sister's husband. In modern time, the only word of reference is Dhira, which means husband's brother generally. To the own name of the person, sometimes the title Bhavoji is attached. Example, Laxman Bhavoji. There are no separate words for husband's eldest brother's wife and younger brother's wife. They are both referred to as Jau and called Bai. Actually, one does not directly address any of the people of the husband's house if they are older than oneself. The younger relatives may be addressed as Vanse, Bauji, or Yamunabai, etc., but that too rarely. Levirate is not allowed in most of Maharashtra, and with the disappearance of that custom, the distinction between husband's elder and younger brother, and elder brothers and younger brother's wife, both of whom are called Vahini and referred to as Bhavajaya, has vanished in Maharashtra. Also, instead of separate terms for husband's elder brother's son and husband's younger brother's son, like Jetut and Derut, we have only one word, Putanya, and for daughter, Putani in Marathi. The wives Sala and Sali, the words Sala and Sali are used for wife's brother and sister respectively. For the younger relatives, the terms Mehuna and Mehuni are also used for this pair. The word Mehunachar is used for joking relationship and possible marriage relationship between these relatives. The terms Mehuna Mehuni but not Sala Sali are used also for sister's husband. For wife's elder sister, there is an old term which has now gone out of general use but which is still used in parts of Berar, with Akkad Sasu. It is a term parallel to Bhavasasra. A woman must behave as towards a father-in-law to her husband's elder brother. He is her Bhavasasra, that is Bhava, brother, Sasra, father-in-law. In the same way, a man's behavior to his wife's elder sister is very circumspect. She is an Akka, a Dravidian word meaning elder sister, who is at the same time like a Sasu, mother-in-law. In older Marathi, there is a word Bhatu or Bhatwa. It is also found in a folk song of eastern Maharashtra. This word is used in Berar and Nagpur or eastern Maharashtra and also among Gonds and refers to wife's eldest brother. It is not of Dravidian origin as there is no similar word among the southern people. I did not come across such a word in the north either and cannot derive it from any Sanskrit word except Bharta, husband or master. The word for wife, sister's husband is similar to the northern word, namely Sadhu or Sadbhav. For son's wife, the Marathi word is Suna, derived from Sanskrit Snusha, and in this respect, there is similarity to the Sindhi and Punjabi languages. The word for son in law is Javai, derived from Sanskrit Jamatr. The parents of the son in law and daughter in law are Vyahi, masculine, and Vihina, feminine, derived from the Sanskrit word Vivaha, marriage, and mean those connected by marriage. In its connotation, it is analogous to the words Samdi and Samdan of the north. Like the north, Maharashtra has a set of terms for parents' house and husband's house. Maher or mother's house and Sasar or father in law's house are terms used oftenest by women. Analogous to the word Nanihal, Marathi has the word Ajola. Women in their parents' house are called Maher Vasin, those in their husband's house are called Sasur Vasin. The behavior pattern for the two are different, the differences being the same as noted for the north. For people with whom one is related, as people of the patrikin, there is the word saga, which is contrasted with the kin by marriage, for which the word is soera. The plural term sage soere stands for the whole kinship group. The word saga is derived from the Sanskrit word swaka, one's own. The word soera seems to be derived from the word swashuraka, belonging to the father in law. We have seen that the word Shwashura becomes Sahura in many northern languages. Sahura a Sahura becomes Saura a in and Soera in Marathi. In the Marathi expression Sage Soere, we have again the northern classification of kinship by blood and marriage. Number 4, Orissa. Orissa, the easternmost region of the central zone, presents ecologically a great contrast with the western region of that zone. Whereas Rajputana, especially the western part, presents to the eye a dry region eternally suffering from scarcity of water with its bare granite hills fantastically weathered by the action of the sun and the sandstorms. Orissa is watered by some of the biggest rivers in India and has also some of the densest forests in India. The mountains are a little above 3,000 feet in height and are much folded. They rise from the coast to up to about 2,000 to 2,500 feet, and then there is an upland plateau over which smaller hills raise their heads, green in the north and rather bare in the south, where the primitive tribes are doing intensive agriculture and sowing Niger seeds almost to the tops of the hills. The many hills, the rapidly flowing and deep rivers, and many smaller streams have cut up the hilly area into smaller regions, and intercommunication between them is rather difficult. The western Orissa hinterland of hills and forests is joined to a fertile strip of coastland where rice is grown. Rice is grown almost up to the western border of the province along the river valleys in the north by the Kulta, Binzal, Chasa, Kandayat, and in the south by the Bhatra. Besides these agricultural castes, almost all the primitive and semi-primitive tribes grow rice or cash crops like Niger seed. In the whole of the jungle area, there are well-organized periodic markets called hats where men and women of primitive tribes and agricultural castes come to sell the produce of their fields and forests and buy salt, oil, cloth, agricultural implements, etc. In Orissa, people speaking languages belonging to three great families have come together and one finds them inextricably mixed, so that no one part of this region can be marked off as belonging to one linguistic group. The language of each group has affected the others, but the very mixed habitation makes it impossible to judge about the social organization of each. The Gonds, Uravans, and the Khans speak Dravidian languages, and their kinship system can be best described along with that of the Dravidian speaking people. The Munda, the Bondo, and some of the Savara speaking Mundari languages and their kinship pattern is dealt with later in a separate chapter. The remaining group speaking Uriya show the same type of caste divisions as are found in the northern region with slightly different names. The Brahmins seem to be immigrants from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and perhaps from Madhya Pradesh also. The marriage regulations are like those of the Brahmins of northern India. The Aranyaka Brahmins, found mostly in the northwestern parts of Orissa, are supposed sometimes to allow the marriage of a man to his mother's brother's daughter, but I found no actual case of such a marriage. Among other castes, example the Karans, who are the same as the Kayasthas of the north, cousin marriage is not allowed. Among the agricultural castes, some allow cross cousin marriage while others do not. The coastal castes do not allow such a marriage, especially in the region north of Lake Chilka. On the other hand, most of the upland agricultural castes like the Binzal and the Kolta allow such marriages, but they are by no means frequent. The Pana or the Dam is the most numerous of Orissa's lowest castes. They have entered into a peculiar social relationship with the primitive among whom they live as neighbors. Besides their other duties, they are the musicians and drummers of certain lower castes. They buy cattle in the dry season and drive it into the upland forests for pasturage and do quite a considerable trading in cattle. They know the primitive tribes much more intimately than any other people. Some anthropologists have depicted them as the exploiters of the primitives and the evil influence in their life. It is a wrong picture to draw of these despised people who live on the social borders of two communities. A more objective study is needed for the understanding of the role of these people in an area where so many separate ethnic elements live together. The coastal Pana themselves deny the practice of cross cousin marriage. The highland Pana sometimes admitted the custom. It seems that such a marriage is sometimes allowed but not preferred. Junior levirate is found among all poorer classes. The Brahmins, Karans, and Kandayats do not allow such practices, but a more detailed study of families and folk literature might reveal the existence of the custom among some at least of the higher castes. Like all northern terminologies, Uriya has separate terms for different uncles and aunts. Their children are called brothers and sisters through uncles and aunts. A distinction is made between husband's elder and younger brother. The elder is called Detsur and so equated to the father in law, and the younger is referred to by the usual term Dior or Devar. In the same way, distinction is made between the elder brother's wife and the younger brother's wife. A woman does not speak or show her face to the husband's elder brother, while she can cut the most obscene jokes with the husband's younger brother. A man can speak and joke with his elder brother's wife, but must not do so with the younger brother's wife. Wife's elder sister is called Ded Sasu, Ded Sasu, and one must not speak with her. One can joke with the younger sister Sali and also marry her. The kinship terms are given in the table. They are like Bengali kinship terms. The term go is used sometimes as a term of address for husband or wife. In Bengali, there is a similar term ogo. Neither of these terms is of Sanskrit origin. In Marathi, the word go or ago is used for calling the wife, and the word go or goa is used on the west coast of Maharashtra for husband. Whether all these terms originate from one source, I do not know. To sum up, we find that in the central zone, number one, Rajputana, Kathiawad, and Gujarat is a region where only Sanskritic languages are spoken, though there are some non Sanskritic words in daily speech. The kinship pattern is predominantly northern, though a few customs have similarities with southern customs. Some groups practice one type of cross cousin marriage as a permissive form of marriage, that is, the marriage of a man to his mother's brother's daughter. The hypergamy and one type of cross cousin marriage seem to be two aspects of one and the same social relationship arising out of amalgamation of different ethnic elements through successive incursions and conquests. Number two, Maharashtra is a region where the overwhelming majority of people speak a Sanskritic language. There are, however, semi primitive people in the east who speak Dravidian languages, that is, Gondi and Kolami. The Marathi language has also a considerable number of words of Dravidian origin in its vocabulary since the earliest times. The majority of castes and tribes practice one type of cross cousin marriage. In central and northern Maharashtra, there is a definite taboo on the other type of marriage, though it occurs in South Maharashtra. In North Maharashtra, junior levirate is allowed among many castes. In central and South Maharashtra, it is not allowed. The Marathas, the most numerous of the of the Maharashtra castes, show a hypergamous clan structure. It is the region most affected by southern practices, and its kinship behavior, kinship terms, folk songs, and literature all show that it is a region of cultural borrowings and cultural synthesis. Number three, more than one fourth of the population of Orissa is tribal population. Languages belonging to three major linguistic families in India are spoken in this region, but as the region is cut up by rivers, hills, and forests, there is not evolved such a homogeneous mixed culture as in Maharashtra. Still, all ethnic groups are affected by one another and copy each other's practices. The Oriya speaking groups generally show a northern pattern, though many agriculturists allow cross cousin marriage of one type only. Thus, the central zone, though differing in its various areas, has one thing in common, viz., that many of its castes practice one type of cross cousin marriage and have a definite taboo or aversion towards the other type of cross cousin marriage. It forms in many ways a region of transition from the north to the south. Appendix. The following free translation of stanzas is a selection from songs collected by Miss Balutai Saptarshi in Nagar district from women of different castes. These songlets are always in the form of a rhyming couplet and are sung at the time of grinding cereals on a stone mill. Such a mill is even today a household article in all houses in Maharashtra. The cereal for everyday bread used to be hand milled daily on this mill early in the morning between 5 and 6 a.m. The monotonous work of turning the mill is lightened by these songs. They are also sung on festival days when women gather in the evening to tell stories, sing songs, and play games. Besides these, there are bigger narrative songs too. Number one, praised be the father's stout heart. He has courage even to hand over his life and heart into the keeping of strangers. Number two, Father dear, please do not harp on how many daughters you have. Like a flock of sparrows, they will all fly away and vanish. Number three, the father says, my daughter, I have given you to others, but I cannot stand guarantee for your fortune. The first song is obviously ironical and tells of a father whose heart is not moved even when he gives his daughter to others. All fathers feel it a great burden if there are many daughters. The second song tells him that they will all go away after marriage and then his house will be empty. The third song is about the father who refuses to take any responsibility about a daughter's happiness once she is married. The songs about the mother are innumerable and show a sentiment of deep love. Number 4. Washerwoman, when you wash my virtuous mother's sari, let the water be pure and pure as my mother's virtues. Number 5. As the mouth waters when one puts a lump of sugar in it, so my mind gladdens at the word mother. Number 6. The forest cannot be green unless it rains. Neither can there be affection without mother. The green color is always symbolical of life and happiness. In Maharashtra, a girl wears her first green sari when she reaches puberty, is married in a green sari, gets a green sari as a present when her son gets married, and is clothed in a green sari after her death if she dies before her husband. On the other hand, a widow must never wear green. Number 7. One can pay back the father's debt by making the holy pilgrimage of Banaras, but one can never hope to pay off the debt of gratitude to the mother. Number 8. I turn the stone floor mill with the swiftness of a running deer. That is because my arms are strong with the mother's milk I drank. Number 9. I turn the huge mill as if it were a toy. The pots of water I carry on my head reach the heavens. The milk I drank at my mother's breast gives me the strength to do this. When women fetch water from the well, they carry it on their heads in pots placed one above another. The woman says she can carry so many pots on her head that the topmost reaches the sky. Number 10. Did anyone notice the sweet fragrance of a jasmine? Jai. The hefty Kevada flower has filled the whole street with its strong scent. This songlet brings forth the difference between a girl and a boy. Jai is the small white sweet smelling jasmine. Kevada is a big thorny leaf of the type of sisal and has a very strong smell. Number 11. I am weaving from the strands of my life a cloth of affection. My sweet daughter, wrap it round your husband and son. Number 12. The father and mother are strong and powerful, and yet they cannot prevent the poor lowing cow being taken away by the butcher. In this song, the lowing cow is the little weeping bride being taken to her parents in law's home. Number 13. Is it not surprising that the father of the bride gives his child and has to bow down to the feet of those to whom he gives the gift? Number 14. The parents who reared and then gave away their daughter are treated like thieves, and the son in law stands in the street like a moneylender demanding his money. The daughter cannot remain for long at the father's house after marriage. The son in law comes and demands her back in an arrogant way, as if her own parents had been thieving her from the rightful owner. Number 15. The son in law is like the petty Cyril Hulga. You give him the daughter of your stomach and he pays back by talking haughtily. Explanation. Child of my stomach is a very usual phrase when talking about sons and daughters. Hulga is a cereal which is not very nourishing, is very hard to cook and not very palatable. Explanation 2. The following couplets are about brother and sister. After marriage, a father almost never goes to visit his daughter, a mother never. A married girl may come to visit her parents. The only person from the father's house who can and does go to the sister is the brother. He is her champion with whom she can talk about her joys and sorrows. He brings her the annual brother's gift, but he too becomes a stranger when he marries and then, under the influence of his wife, either forgets or willfully neglects the sister. Number 16. Even more than a son, I love my younger brother. He and I were constant companions in my childhood. Number 17. We two sisters are like two wells of two villages. The fine strong brother is like the fine green cornfield in the middle. The jowar corn is fine, being watered by the wells. The brother thrives because of the love of his two sisters, who are brides in neighboring villages on either side. Number 18. The brother was on the point of drinking water he had drawn from the well, but he did not when he heard that the sister was cruelly treated at the father in law's house. Number 19. God has given me enough in the husband's house, which is my kingdom. But, brother dear, I still look forward to your annual present of a piece of cloth for my bodies. Number 20. The price which my brother pays for the piece of cloth he presents to me for my choli is as high as that for a sari. Those who have no brothers wonder at this extravagance. Number 21. This beautiful black sari with red border and the end embroidered with the sacred name of Rama is the gift of my darling brother. Number 22. My eyes are aching and red by staring at the street in expectation of his arrival. I cannot understand how my own mother's son has become like a stranger to me. Number 23. The rain comes in torrents and vanishes as suddenly. My brother too has forgotten me since the birth of his daughter. Number 24. He gives a dozen excuses for not going to the village of his sister, but if he has to go to the daughter's village, he immediately takes away the bullocks from the plough. Number 25. The brothers are mine own. What are the sisters in law to me? But I call them mine. Do we not string beads together with a precious amulet? Number 26. The brother was buying for me a choli cloth for 1 rupee, but his wife made him buy one which cost only half as much. Number 27. After the death of the parents, the father's house is lost to me. Now, if I go on a visit, my brother's wife says, please put up at the sarai on the outskirts of the town. Explanation. Sarai is a public building where travelers can live without paying anything. Number 28. In this age, the brother no longer cares for the sister. The choli piece, which should be a gift for me, is in his pocket, but he is inquiring about the house of the younger sister of his wife. Explanation. The relationship of a man to his wife's younger sister has already been explained in the preceding chapter. The folk songs of the whole of the northern zone stop here. When the brothers and sisters are estranged, they remain so for the whole life. But in Maharashtra, the custom of the sister's son marrying the brother's daughter heals the breach. The haughty sister in law, as the bride's mother, puts her head on the husband's sister's feet, and everything is again as sweet as before. Number 29. The goldsmith is busy night and day. I am bringing my brother's daughter as my son's wife, and I am getting lovely gold ornaments made for her. Explanation. In India, gold ornaments are generally made to order. Number 30. Dear aunt, that is father's sister, let us go to our parents' house. The messenger who has come to take us away is my father, who is your brother. Number 31. The messenger for the one says we both should go. My darling brother entreats us to go with him to his house. The following are the songs about the relations by marriage. Number 32. My mother in law is my own father's sister. My father in law is a simple soul, and my wife's husband is their sweet son. Number 33. The mother in law harasses me, and the husband's sister, who is but a guest of a day and a half, helps in this harassment by continuous incitement against me. Number 34. Dear lady, do not harass the daughter in law. The son is like the magnolia in our garden, and the daughter in law is like a sweet jasmine brought from others and planted near the magnolia. Number 35. Sweet daughter, bear the cruelty of your mother in law without murmur. In so doing, you will be praised by all. Number 36. I have two small boxes, one for the red kumkum, the other for beeswax. My sweet little brother in law is a support to my married bliss. Kumkum explanation. Kumkum is the auspicious red powder which every Maharashtrian woman who is not a widow puts on her forehead in the form of a circular spot. Beeswax is used as a base for this powder. The chief thing is kumkum. Beeswax is a help. Number 37. The sister-in-law, wife of my husband's younger brother, has come with great reluctance and anger to put her head on my feet. But behind her stands my sweet brother-in-law, always anxious to please me. The relationship of a woman to her husband's younger brother has already been explained in the preceding chapter. Number 38. God Maruti reduced my life so as to give a full 100 to my bangles, that is, to my husband. A married woman wears a certain type of bangles which are broken as soon as the husband dies. The husband is spoken of in song and proverb as my bangles. Number 39. I gave my whole life for him and loved him with my heart. But what use was that? His heart is iron and his body is stone. Number 40. I gave him all my devotion, but he is like the stone which remains sunk in water without absorbing any moisture. Number 41. My mind is disgusted at his constant abuse. It is like the banana leaf which is torn in shreds by unceasing wind. Harassed by the mother in law. Harassed by the mother in law and the husband's sister, despised and treated cruelly by the husband, at last a woman says, by some mistake, God gave me the birth of a woman. Like a hired bullock which is hard driven by all, I am on the point of breaking. Number 43. God Rama, I fall to your feet and fold my hands and pray to you. Never again give me the birth of a woman. Explanation. There are happy songs too of a beloved wife and the envied mother of sons. Here only a very small sample of the current songs is given. Recently, very valuable collections of these have been made by various men and women. Of these, the Stri Jivana by P.S. Sane is a collection from the West Coast. Another collection appeared in the Journal of the University of Bombay, Volume 10, 1941-42, under the caption Maharashtra Folk Songs on the Grind Mill. There are folk songs published in other volumes of the same journal from other zones and regions of India. Next, chapter 5, Kinship Organization of the Southern Zone. We will tackle this in next video.